Psycho killer. Psycho killer. Oh no, not another fake shooting again. This would be a fake assassination against Nero 47, DJ Chum. And supposedly worked for NASA, right? You know, another PSYOP this weekend, right? You know, make us believe somebody tried to take out Donald Trump. You know, just like the one before. You know, here comes another, you know. So, you know, here we are, man. Shalom, first and foremost, like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who are teachers of truth and sincerity. And shout out to Yakims out there in the four corners of the earth proclaim this truth. Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Bracha Tam. So, I'm supposed to believe. They want you to believe. Some psycho killer went fucking nuts and decided, when Trump already sent in the National Guard and all kinds of troops into D.C., and D.C. is well guarded, that this guy somehow got in there, just like that, and tried to assassinate the president, right? You know, another psyop, right? But you can't fool the elect. You can't fool us with that same sheepskin.
But this shooter, this 30-year-old
but here it is,
teacher of the month and all the rest of it, Cole Allen, interned at the Jet Propulsion Laboratories in NASA. And there's these lists of dead scientists going around. Folks, it's 11 in the last few months, including the head of the whole secret UFO project, the top general, who, by the way, said he wanted disclosure and that Trump had ordered to disclose it all. He disappeared 2 weeks after Trump ordered it 3 months ago. They found this other NASA engineer burned up in his car last week. Another one said, oh, they're coming to kill me. They told me they're going to kill me. Then she commits suicide. All these big UFO researchers are dying. 2 of them this week. It is hundreds, okay? And it's in Europe. It's in China. People involved with gravitational manipulation. They call it anti-gravity. That's not what it is. It's gravitational manipulation. People involved in secret space programs. And Trump is the one that said 3 months ago, I want it all disclosed now, and signed an executive order and gave them until July to do it. And then a guy that worked at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory that was founded by Jack Parsons, the avowed Satanist, and Aleister Crowley. I know it doesn't sound real. It doesn't sound real to me either. Just type in Jack Parsons, Aleister Crowley, Satanism, the founder, basically, of proto-NASA. Ran sex cults with Aleister Crowley. The point is, that was back in the 50s before NASA was formed officially. So, it's crazy. You know, the guy that really shot Sirhan, it's well known. Even the local police report said that Sirhan had his arm pinned and he shot all the rounds out of his handgun into the wall and floor. There was a well-known Skunk Works Jet Propulsion Laboratory CIA operative that actually shot RFK's dad, RFK Sr., a bunch in the back. There at the hotel in Los Angeles. So the fact that, and one of his professors just got killed a few weeks ago, Kellen, one of the writers, was just showing me that. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. Just look it up. Cole Allen worked at the Jet Propulsion Laboratories for NASA. Absolutely amazing, and gave to Kamala Harris and all the rest of it. So that's where we are. Absolutely insane. Here he is as the teacher of the month.
Or is it a distraction?
CQ Education, Torrance, California. But what's the corporate media say? CNN, New York Times, London Guardian. White House journalist gala ended like many U.S. events do, with gun violence. Talk about a Muslim runs somebody over with a truck at a Christmas parade, and they say, oh, a truck killed a bunch of people. It's truck crime. It's
vehicle Muslims,
crime. No,
right.
It's a person using a weapon.
Yep. Like everything else, though, you know, just nothing more than a bunch of fucking lobbyists, right? Yeah, maybe they could lobby for gun control and more, you know, security, you know. Actually insane would-be assassin mocked hotel security before attempted to kill Trump. So the would-be assassin, Colin Thomas Allen, mocked security at the hotel when Saturday night's White House correspondent dinner was being held. Oh boy, so he walked in with multiple weapons that a single person tree considers the possibility that I could be a threat. He said, come on, man. Let's be fucking real. You know, they only do this because they want to do this. They only did this as another psyop, you know. So, you know, if you really believe it. Of course, we know better, right? But here we go, you know, it was also on RT. So here it is, you know, a new would-be assassination, you know, which they do these a lot when they're getting prepared for war or to just keep you distracted from other events. Well, I would say to prepare for war, the impending ground invasion, etc., New World Order, Well, they got to get you distracted, right? You got to believe it, man, because a lot of people don't believe the hype anymore. So they got to do some more distractions, you know. So somebody tried to kill the president.
A man has opened fire at the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh no! How did he get in? We got to have more security.
Measures at the high-profile event in the Capitol, claiming no metal detectors were used. RT senior correspondent.
Yeah, sure.
Plus more. Attempted assassinations, they're always a dirty business. Tragic, of course, but speaking as a journalist, there's always lots of initial confusion. But this time, an attack on a building packed with journalists and editors and investigators, bloggers, the very people whose job it is to truthfully keep the public informed.
How did somebody get a gun into the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Honestly, as somebody went, there was no security. You just showed your ticket and you were able to completely get in. There was just no pat-downs, no metal detectors, nothing going on. So really horrible setup, and I just don't even understand how that was a thing.
Because they did it on purpose.
He had assassination attempts on his life, so really crazy.
Not a great start. This lady had literally just passed through metal detectors. Here they are. Why claim that there weren't any metal detectors? Well, we can only presume stress. Surely American journalists can do better.
The security seemed lax. I mean, I thought the security coming into this studio today was better. I had to show my passport. None of that happened at the Washington Hilton, which of course is where President Reagan was shot so many years ago.
If you believe
that isn't how modern security works. 20 years ago, maybe.
They put a man on the
more than
moon.
100 venues.
Remember, he's NASA.
Putin and Biden and Xi
They put a man on the moon, right?
Dozens of presidents' passports are a formality. If you aren't supposed to be
Oh wait, it goes beyond bullshit. It's Trump shit.
Who the hell are you? That's how it works in 2026. Biometric scanners, which you can't fake.
There we go.
Passport. You'd expect more from a Fox News contributor. The shooter, by the way, he too thought that he was some kind of James Bond.
I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. P.S. I walk in with multiple weapons, and not a single person there considers the possibility that I could be a threat. Like, if I was an Iranian agent, instead of an American citizen, I could have brought a damn Ma Deuce in here. And
ooh, gotta build it up. Gotta have more security.
Well, he found out. The real reason they don't set up Guantanamo Bay level security at a Hilton hotel is twofold. One, the president always comes in round the back where the real security is. Two, so as not to inconvenience the guests at the hotel. Security starts at the venue, not at the hotel. Again, as the shooter found out. It isn't looking good. The journalists have no idea what happened. The shooter was clueless. What about Donald Trump?
Mr. President, do you know if you were the target of the gunman?
I don't know. It sounded to me, I read a manifesto. He's radicalized. He was a Christian, a believer, and then he became an anti-Christian.
I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Bullshit.
I'm not a
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. You should be ashamed of yourself reading that, because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President, these are the gunman's words.
Yeah, right.
You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead, let's finish the interview.
At the point where we have to ask ourselves, is anyone who was there actually...
Oh, okay, let's make those Epstein files disappear.
States are fine.
Let's not call him a pedophile anymore.
That, at least...
You're a horrible person if you believe he's a pedophile.
Birthday or funeral, assassination, there's always going to be a Ukrainian official there trying to claim the credit. They never fail. Look, at least we can all agree that there was an attempted assassination, right?
No.
Right?
Let me get this straight. Some dude from California, 31 years old, knew at the White House Correspondents' Dinner that there would be no security. This dude walked through the front door with a gun. There was zero security. You cannot tell me this wasn't a stage job.
That's
right.
100,000 views. It turns out, of course, that there was security. They stopped him literally meters after he sprinted through the first security checkpoint. Yet, there are thousands of posts claiming that this was all staged. We've done a full circle. Alex Jones, world-famous right-wing conspiracy theorist, is telling liberals they've gone too far with conspiracy theories.
Everybody's asking me whether or not I think the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night in D.C. was staged, and the long and short of it is, no. You had too many of the D.C. police, Secret Service, all of them involved. The very small percentage of those guys are corrupt. The list goes on and on, but just because a bunch of other stuff is a lie does not mean that this is a lie. There are a lot of Democrats that want Trump dead. There are a lot of people openly saying they want him dead. And I think Trump, really needs to be a lot more careful.
But all is not yet lost. I found someone reasonable and lucid who was there, an anchor for all of our sanity. She, at least, made the best of it. Yoinked a few bottles instead of making, well, stupid posts on X or spouting nonsense on CNN and Fox News. But, jokes aside, a third assassination attempt on Donald Trump in about 2 years. A third. Approval down to 30%. Iran, a total fiasco. Insider trading on an unprecedented scale. And America going crazy with information overload.
Which shall not regard their kings or princes if it's real. I don't think it's real. I'm leaning more towards fake. You know, because they do shit like that to keep you distracted. White House considers bulletproof vests for Trump after latest assassination attempt. According to Fox News correspondent, there are discussions underway about whether President Trump is going to have a bulletproof vest for future events in public. So there it is. And like everything else, World Alternative Media covers that. So we'll play a little bit of his clip, you know. Distractions, right? But that's what they do when they are trying to, as you would say, draw out the war, keep the war going, but, you know, just get you to thinking about different things, and so you'll forget about the war for a while, even though it's still there.
Hey everybody, Josh Harrison of World Alternative Media here, and as many of you might know at this point, that there was indeed a shooting at the White House Correspondents' Association dinner last night, and some things just don't add up about it. I mean, we can be pretty used to, at this point, things not adding up with these stories, but the whole world is a stage, as I've said so many times before, and this is no different, my friends, as we see this image of Cole Thomas Allen, who's accused of starting shooting at a bunch of law enforcement on the ground during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We could see him Naruto run into the place here. Let's look at the security cam footage. That's a guy who either did not have much training at all, has never learned to infiltrate a place, or he was just instructed to do that. The suspect was detained, of course, and all hell broke loose. But there's a lot more to this than meets the eye, and I want to go into some of these examples today, the sleight of hand, if you will, and what this actually means going forward, because they're using this, of course, to push forward a lot of the usual, typical surveillance tech kind of stuff, but also the narrative surrounding it. Something is just off about this, and we're going to get into that and more today. But before we do, I urge people to check those links below. Check out heavensharvest.com for long-term storable foods that are non-GMO. There's organic kits, heirloom seeds, water filtration and storage, and books on how to get started, as well as freeze-dried food. If you use code WAM, W-A-M, you will get 25% off on these items. This is, I mean, the most incredible sale we've ever been able to do with this, and you're saving a huge amount of money while also ensuring that you protect yourself and your family from the coming reset, which is indeed happening. There's no way around that. Now, of course, it's all about how we prepare and how we thrive in the face of it and live long after it all falls down. Now, of course, we have our link for WaveWatch 2.2 in the description as well. 1,250 frequencies. You'll save over $100 when you use code WAM, W-A-M. And, of course, there's no EMFs, there's no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth in this. It soothes your nerves, boosts your energy, enhances cellular function, and improves sleep. It's endorsed by people like Dr. Brian Ardis and Dr. Motley. I urge people to go and check that out in the description below. WaveWatch 2.2. Hit that like button, share it on social media, hit the notification bell, and hit subscribe if you have not yet already. And as always, subscribe on Rumble and BitChute at World Alternative Media. Let's get into this, my friends. Now, as we see here posted on X, President Trump has released security footage and photos of the suspect from the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting, showing the moment he's pinned to the ground by law enforcement. The suspect, 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen, is accused of breaching security with firearms and knives. Trump was safely evacuated, no guests seriously injured. Again, we see this guy Naruto run into the place. They say he assembled his guns in another room in the building that was not secure, and then ran in with this, which I don't know what he would be planning on getting of that. But also, a lot of witnesses are saying he put his guns together in front of everyone, and that it was not a secure event, as they claim. Of course, people have said that they could use unverified email tickets to get in. So, obviously some serious issues there. But it gets a lot stranger than all that. Of course, Nick Sortor claimed that the shooter is dead. He's not dead. He's very much alive. But what's interesting is the moments leading up to the shooting. This guy was on Joe Rogan. He's a magician who guessed, I believe, Joe Rogan's social security number. Pretty viral clip. And he's doing a sleight of hand with the president and Melania right as the shooting happens. Melania is absolutely shocked that he got something right. Is that it? Boom. That's when it happens. Video zooms out. J.D. Vance is taken out, and then Trump is brought out, which he then falls to the ground here. And the gunmen come up on the stage. Well, a lot of people continue just eating, and Kash Patel's in the audience and all that. Strange, it's a strange situation, and also interesting considering that, the journalist that Trump is suing was coming up shortly after this moment, and of course, on top of that, Trump hasn't been to a White House Correspondents' Dinner in a long time. I think most notably, since Obama was president, and Obama made fun of him, leading to what they claim, and the legend is that that's what led to him running for president in the first place. Now, the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter took a train across the country to avoid detection, says Fox News. Look at what they are saying here, and I'm getting into much more interesting stuff right away, but alas, bear with me, I want to get through some of this as well, which is very interesting as well.
This guy clearly seemed like he wanted to, the reporting is that he wanted to get to Trump officials. Did that include the president as well? It would seem to make sense that if the reporting is accurate. I just talked to Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche about this, and he gave us that tidbit about the suspect traveling across the country by train. Right. So then we start to back that up, because that obviously takes planning. We've all talked about, you don't just get a room at the Washington Hilton the weekend or White House Correspondents' Dinner. You plan that months in advance to get a room. So if this is indeed the guy, the shooter that we think it is, he's been planning this for months, and then taking a train to travel undetected.
Oh, boy!
With him, because we all take the Acela, a lot of the Amtrak
Fox
trains.
News is breaking something.
To get on those trains, it's not the same level of
checking your luggage.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
How convenient is that, my friends? As I wrote on X at World Alt Media, go follow us there, by the way. Gee, I wonder if they're going to use this to enforce new surveillance. So predictable.
Yeah.
The trains, which everyone is pushing us into at this point with the 50-minute city agenda and trying to get people to stop traveling and everything. So that also piles on top of the fuel crisis, the shortages, all that kind of stuff. Interesting. Now, this is a post where someone asked, is this real? It is real. I've confirmed this. Absolutely crazy. This is the shooter, Cole Allen, wearing an IDF shirt before his profile was removed on Instagram. An IDF shirt. Now, why on earth is he wearing an IDF shirt? It's almost the same one that Jeffrey Epstein was seen in the Epstein files wearing. I think it's just a shade off. Now, how does that work?
Because it's a Mossad operation. It's a psyop.
And wants to, like he says, that the whole thing is about Epstein, and he doesn't want to protect a rapist, pedophile, as he says, and he's mentioned his concerns over the Israeli thing and everything, but he's wearing an IDF shirt. Why does this keep happening? Anyone out there? Why does this keep happening? I mean, every single time, as they say.
So, like everything else, though, alright, I went enough into this. Obviously, you can tell that it's a psyop, it's a distraction. Not that they're hiding it, just getting people to talk about different things, obviously, so that way they can shift it. Even though they have to cover the war, they have to cover what's going on with the economy, it's still got to shift things down to this assassination attempt. Trump weighs United Arab Emirates currency swap as Abu Dhabi hints at yuan option. And they did say that, okay, well, I think that the digital yuan is more of an option here. Trump, the United Arab Emirates was largely impacted by the West Asia war, bearing the brunt of attacks, which are retaliatory attacks, which hampered its oil refining economy. Well, yeah. And remember, they share, I believe, they share with Iran some interest in the Karg Island as well. They have, a joint partnership. Yep, they're allied with Babylon. President Trump admitted he is considering a currency swap arrangement with the United Arab Emirates after reports that Abu Dhabi raised concerns over dollar liquidity risks linked to the war. United Arab Emirates was among the Gulf states hit during the recent regional conflict that erupted after the U.S. and Israeli state struck Iran. So, like everything else, well, why would they want to go after Karg Island? If they're partners with, because they want the full control of the island. If the United States gets it, Karg Island, well, then they would have full control over it. You see, like everything else. So you partner with anybody who's partnered with the U.S., you're going to be betrayed, and that's what's going on here. That's why United Arab Emirates wants the U.S. to invade Karg Island as well. State Department says U.S. is in conflict with Iran at the request of the Israeli state. Well, duh, the least the flock shall draw them out. Statement was issued by State Department's legal advisor, who attempted to provide legal justification for the war. As D.C. explained in multiple letters to the UN Security Council, including most recent on March 10th, the United States is engaged in the conflict at the request of its collective self-defense of its Israeli ally. Okay, attacking the country before it's ever attacked you is not self-defense. That's provoking a war. Yeah, but like everything else, though, you can't even say that's self-defense. It is provocation of war. As well as in the exercise of the U.S. Own inherent right of self-defense. You know, bunch of Trump shit, right? You know, and Hague shit, for that matter, man. You know, because like everything else, though, King Bibi is the one that, wanted this war because it's good for the Israeli state. Iran offers new proposal to reopen Strait. Trump opened the ceiling deal via phone. After a weekend of stalemate in Malaise, Iran reportedly offers new proposal for opening ship traffic while postponing the thorny nuclear missile issue. Trump says peace could come via telephone rather than face-to-face meetings. Also warning Iranian oil infrastructure could explode from within unless flow resumes. So, between that, well, I already know what Iran wants. But here's some of it over what happened over the weekend. While we're distracted with a fake shooting attempt. Oh, unfortunately, I don't think we have the English translation, but that's all right. You can obviously see that they were there for the talks, but they were meeting Pakistan alone.
سفر روسی هم تنظیم شد. فرصت مناسبی هست ما در خصوص تحولاتی که در رابطه با جنگ در مدت وجود داشته و اونچه که الان هست با دوستان روس خودمون رایزنی داشته باشیم و آخرین وضعیت رو با هم مرور بکنیم و مطمئن هستم که مهم خواهد بود که مثلا در خصوص هماهنگی لازم رو
Well, you get the idea. I'm sorry I don't have the translation Slovakia for that, but it's obviously not going to be in the English for that, but you get the idea. They showed up there, but not to talk to the U.S., but to talk to Pakistan. And now there's these supposed phone calls. Former Israeli Prime Minister joins forces to dethrone King Bibi in upcoming elections. So like everything else, though, this guy here wants to go to war with Turkey and also wants to annihilate Damascus off the face of the map, which does fit prophecy, because Gomer and all its troops will be joining. Could he be the successor to King Bibi? King Bibi has, a lot of trials coming up now that there actually is a pause in the war. So this guy could come up. Two former Israeli prime ministers said they would join forces in upcoming elections expected later this year in a bid to dethrone longtime Prime Minister King Bibi. So, there they are. Like everything else, though, not to mention the ICC court, although that's not recognized, but Israeli state is also holding them in court, so he may not be around much longer. And that guy may be the one to actually start the war. King Bibi could have just started getting things ready for him. Just saying. IRGC commander warns U.S. and Israeli state of stronger response to any new attack. So like everything else, though, they also have stated that they didn't even use their best weapons yet. Senior commander in Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps warned that any new attack against the country would be met with stronger response amid escalating tensions. Speaking to journalists, he added that the U.S. and Israeli state are attempting to exert pressure over the reopening of the strait, but insisted that would not happen. We will tell the Americans that Iran is not Venezuela for you to plunder its resources. If you launch a new attack, you will receive stronger blow, and the Iranian state and people will stand against you, he said. Remarks come as tensions remain high following the recent war against Iran. The U.S. and Israeli state disputes over the control of the strait and broader regional security, continuing to hinder efforts to reach a lasting settlement. So like everything else, though, what else can he do? You know, it's kind of like this person here, you know, a person that doesn't get a lot of attention or gets too much negative attention, what do? They do things to hurt themselves, right? So why not? Why not a fake assassination attempt, right? You know, just deliberately just to get people distracted, and so that you'll feel sorry for them. It's like, well, you know, there's a lot of people that want to take Trump out right now. Gain sympathy, all that. You know, it's the same person that, you know, you see a lot of these retards punch themselves and stuff like that just to get attention. This is what a retard would do. Hey, we've said it on numerous occasions. Trump is a total fucking retard when it comes to retardation and just being fucking stupid. You don't get any more fucking stupid than Trump. You know, he's got an ego that will not quit. But here's what's going on with the latest violations of the so-called ceasefire, the 3-week ceasefire that really never happens. I mean, they had a whole year, for that matter, and the Israeli state never stopped. Israeli army launches attacks against Lebanon's Bekaa Valley, limiting shipping traffic crossing the strait. Date reveals Israeli state destroys power and water systems in Christian town in southern Lebanon. Chinese refiner denies Iran ties after U.S. sanctions hit shares. Trump says Iran can call the U.S. if it wants to negotiate, so that's how that all got into play there, the supposed phone call. Israeli state bombs deep into Lebanon for the first time of the 3-week ceasefire. For the first time? Bullshit! They've been doing it the whole fucking time. Fucking liar, man. You know, the Israeli state didn't even honor day 1 of the ceasefire. IDF says it launched new wave of airstrikes against Hezbollah in Bekaa Valley and several areas of southern Lebanon. Israeli media confirms Monday the strikes came following repeated Hezbollah attacks, which were retaliatory, by the way. Fresh reporting emphasizes the Israeli state was not struck in Lebanon's Bekaa Valley in some 3 weeks. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you can see that who's a liar, obviously as written by the Israelis, right? King Bibi cancels mass Marathon event amid renewed retaliatory strikes from Lebanon, which is exactly what they are, retaliatory, because the Israeli state won't fucking leave them alone, right? They don't honor any ceasefire. King Bibi decided to call off this year's mass ceremony over Mount Hermon in the Upper Galilee region following a new wave of retaliatory strikes from southern Lebanon. The decision comes after fresh restrictions were implemented in the north of the occupied territories of the so-called Home Front Command. So like everything else, though, you know, King Bibi wasn't able to do certain things because, of course, it's closed. And like everything else, though, I got one more here from Apostle Tahar. You know, that's just some distractions going on, but we know not to be distracted by these events, you know. But there is a passage, and just saying it into it, so let me get that. It's from 2nd Esdras. So again, as you get into these end-time prophecies, I'm reading this out of the GNTD version. I have to get in 2nd Esdras chapter 15, you know, and I'm going to read a bit of it because this is what's coming, you know. As you can tell that Babylon the Great, you know, well, they're not going to be in this land much longer, right? Because they're going to be over there in that barren land out there in the desert of Saudi Arabia, you know, and you can see them slowly but surely moving all their troops over there to get prepared for war, right? You know, and like everything else, so he's going to smite this place. As they go over there, this place is going to be destroyed. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 10, my people are being led to the slaughter like a flock of sheep. They will no longer have to live in Egypt, aka America. I will use all my strength and power to bring them out of that land. I will bring disasters upon the Egyptians as I did earlier, and I will destroy their country. Now, Egypt wasn't totally destroyed. The armies were, but Egypt still is a land. But this time, this land, Babylon, is going to be destroyed. So it's talking about modern-day Egypt. The whole land will be in mourning. It will be shaken to its foundations when I, the Most High Yahweh, strike it and pound on it by way of the nuclear destruction. Farmers will mourn because their seed will fail to sprout, and their trees will be destroyed by blight, hail, and terrible storms, because it's going to wipe everything out. All the land's going to be wiped out. The world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. There it is, right there, and they're in that war now. The nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. There will be great political turmoil. Is Trump not in great political turmoil? With one group trying to overpower and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. Is that not what's happening? Insurrections not happening? See, think about it though. Now, the other translations say they shall not regard their kings and their princes. But this kind of goes into more detail about it. They will no longer be free access to the cities. Oh, so basically you're not going to be able to enter a city, right? Because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. Martial law, etc. But what caused all this? Driven by famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. Just pretty much, just nothing but lawlessness everywhere. So that's what's going to take place. It hasn't gotten that bad, but it's starting to get there. As you can see, it get turned up. And we tell you that things are going to get turned up. Now, whether you choose to listen to us or not, it's totally up to you. But there's someone else that was in another group that decided to start paying attention, as Apostle Har brought it out. Former WFI member is now with GMS over the Mark of the Beast controversy. So we're going to play that video in its entirety. Hopefully all this has been edifying. For that I want to say, Barak of the Yahweh, Barak of the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abba Babal. Brakatam, Jehovah elect, Shalom.
Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, 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 Rakakadash, Shalom to 144,000, and the rest of you elect out there, Shalom to you all. I'm going to title this video, make this super quick. This part of the video is live right now, as you can see. I'm going to entitle the video, Wi-Fi Israelite member leave to follow GMS MOTB. So, as you can see, it was put up by GMS South Carolina 08. The title is GMS made MOTB plain to me, religion and other topics. And you have GMS made MOTB plain to me, which is part of the title right there. All right, so we're just gonna let you listen.
Being a Hebrew Israelite, it is a heritage, but it does come with the religion. So we're going to look at the word religion. It's not a bad word. And it's not a bad word, okay? So, with no further ado, I'm not going to do a lot of talking. Let's just go ahead and grab this first comment. And this is from somebody, at EJ8880. Emailed this comment myself. I got this comment, I guess 13 days. Like I said, I did a video with the live stream earlier this week, and I was it was so long. It was 2 hours and change, and had a lot of comments and questions. And this is one that I didn't get to. I'm getting to it now. It says, it's from a video. I don't remember the title of the video, but it had something to do with the Mark of the Beast. I can't remember what the title was. But this brother right here says, I was in the same situation. I was with WFI, which is Watching for Israel. I was with WFI, teaching on the highways and byways, but their breakdown of the MOTB, which stands for Mark of the Beast, never made sense to me. I came across your channel, along with a few other elders in GMS, and the MOTB breakdown became plain as day to me. So that's all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. This brother says, he says, I reached out a few months ago asking if you had an email so I could get information on how to join GMS. Thank you for all the videos and breakdowns. Lord willing, I'll hear back from you soon on how to join your brother. So first thing is, what you should do is, if you're interested in teaching, because you probably should be already doing it on your own. However, you can find out whatever city you're in, whether it's Baltimore, DC, or maybe it's out west. It could be on the East Coast. Wherever it is, New York, you should get with the GMS camp in your area. Go to them brothers' channel. Let's say if you live in, I don't know, let's just say you live in And say if you live in Washington D.C., right? You would find out what the channel is for the Washington D.C. GMS camp, and you would start go on their channel, start watching the brothers, get familiar with them, let them know just like you know what you said to me. Tell those brothers about that, and then they'll deal with you accordingly. Or whatever city you're in, you should go to their channel, right? Just type in GMS in the city you're from. Inquire about what you can do. Can you come to the camp? Can this happen? Can that happen? You never know. The brothers may say, yeah, come by the camp. We'll holler at you or whatever. Right. So let's read it again.
Yeah, that's what happened to me in San Francisco.
I was in the same situation. I was in WFI, teaching on the highways and highways, but the breakdown of the MOTB never made sense to me. Just refresh everybody out there. The Wi-Fi dudes, that's what we call them. They say the mark of the beast is sin. Just like Bishop Nate.
What shows you that Yahweh Basham Al-Shah is not dealing with the Wi-Fi? They're rebellious because they came up under this thing watching YouTube videos, and watched GMS videos, and also behind our back they were watching, following Zabak. And Zabak goes off on the MOTB as well. So I guess they said, oh, we're going to go with Zabak on this one. So Zabak was a bit of a stumbling block. Zabak, you got to get out that bullshit, brother. You go way back from the beginning. It don't make no sense for you to be teaching that nonsense. Now, we know why Nate is doing it in Johanna, because they sold out.
Of IUIC, the rest of IUIC, and some other groups say that the mark of the beast is sin. But as this brother said, it doesn't make sense. He says, I came across your channel, along with a few other elders in GMS, and the MOTB breakdown became plain as day to me. And then he talks about inquiring about joining GMS. Right? So again, all praise to Yahweh Basham Shah. That brother sees it, and Lord willing, more of you brothers and sisters out there will see that originally had not seen what the true breakdown or what the mark of the beast is. We'll say it again. The mark of the beast is the RFID chip. Okay? It's the RFID chip. We got many videos dealing with that. If you type in GMS and MOTB, you're going to get a multitude of videos. So first, before I read, just bear with me here. I'm going to read one scripture on this, and whatever's on the comment board, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. I'm going to try to breeze through these kind of quick. Lord willing. Oh, man. I got to still let y'all bear with me here. All right. So this right here is going to be Amos chapter 3, verse 7. It says, surely the Lord's power will do nothing, but he reveals his secret unto his servants, the prophets. All right. Quick scripture, big meaning. The Most High has sent forth his men in these last days to break down all of the secrets, to give you, to edify the elect of the house of Israel, so that you would know what's coming. The Lord didn't send us here without his name, without knowing what the MOTB is, without knowing this, without knowing that. No, he made it where we wouldn't know. He wants us to know so we can be delivered, so we can take the mark of the beast. Any group telling you we don't know what it is, this is one brother got nigga that
means that they're not prophets. If you don't know, you got to eat the whole roll.
Being GMS. I don't even know what he said, but I'm anxious to know. He made a video, this nigga pop back up on the scene. But the mark of the beast is not the chip. Okay. Well, I don't know what he said that it is, but I'm pretty sure.
The brother's name, he was originally part of, I was going to do a video on him, but I didn't. Earlier, the video popped up. I forget the brother's name. His brother's telling the truth. His brother had the dream about, not the dream, but attacked by a demon, which I did a re-upload. His brothers, biological brothers, paternal brothers, whatever. And he broke off. He actually came to the crib out here in New York with Dallas, GMS Dallas. And he went off. He didn't even call, in that video that he made that I was just talking about, he didn't even acknowledge Yahweh. He said, yeah, the Most High, this, that, the third, but he didn't name Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. And he's saying the mark of the beast is not a physical chip, it's something else. So he's just going, he should wax worse and worse.
I know he's not coherent, but if he's saying something different to what we teach, and any group saying something different to what we teach, they're going off. Okay, the Heavenly Father sent his 100% truth, his prophets to teach his 100% truth, and they're the ones that have the secret. If you're not one of the people of the Lord, when you read the scripture, let's read it again, Amos 3 and 7. Surely the Lord's power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So if you're not one of the men of the Lord, but you teach and you think you're a man of the Lord, are you going to have the secrets right? No. You're going to say every other thing other than what the mark truly is. Only the servants of the Lord have that right. We don't care if people don't. It doesn't matter. All right. So we're going to move on. This is Elder Abijah from GMS Jackson, Mississippi. Acts 20:26. Wherefore I take you to record this day that I am pure from the blood of all men, for I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Most High. That's right. And we pure from your blood. We warned everybody about it We heard everything that people can say. Mark of the beast is sleeping with white women. Mark of the beast is a philosophy. It's an embargo. It's this, it's that. It's money, it's currency. It's sleeping with white women. If I didn't say that one, I probably did. And we've heard that different people throughout history. ISUPK said that King Solomon had the mark of the beast because he had 666 talents of gold at one particular time. That's going off. Okay?
Yeah, that's silly. That's silly. That's ISUPK. It was General Yohana that said, how the hell can Solomon have the mark of the beast when the beast wasn't even on the scene yet? He also said that the Apostle Paul had the mark of the beast. How is he going to explain that? I do not know.
The mark of the beast is an end-time prophecy. Nobody throughout the generations have had it. It was never implemented. Okay, but it's coming. It's a last days prophecy.
The first time we heard about the mark of the beast is in Revelation chapter 10. Revelation chapter 10 is more than, let's count the years. We're talking 1,000 years.
This is GMS Saints of the Most High, Birmingham. This is Habakkuk 2 and 2 from the NLT. Then the Lord said to me, write my answer plainly on tablets, so that a brother can carry the correct message to others. Absolutely, that's right, brother Thwada. That's brother Dawadah from GMS Birmingham. This is Bayan Yasharawam. Isaiah 29:24, they also added the spirit shall come to understanding, and they that murmur shall learn doctrine. Did you see that? That individuals with a group that don't have the truth of the mark of the beast, but then he found the real men of the Lord that have the truth of the mark of the beast. So
the voice they will not hear. St. John chapter 10. Read the first couple of verses of that.
That was correct what the Lord said in that scripture. The same brother, Isaiah 55:10. For as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth and maketh it bring forth his bud, so that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word of my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I send it. Absolutely, the water, brother, fire. Okay, so this is the brother right here. He said, I stay in Fresno, California. Don't think y'all have any camps this way, but other brothers gave me the West Coast camp. The water for all your work. All right, brother. Hey, the water to you, how about you, how shine for us being able to do the works? If the water to you, how about you, how shine for you, brother, for you waking up and understanding that.
And hopefully more of these guys from Wi-Fi, if they'll be elect, they'll leave the Wi-Fi and they'll join the GMS camp.
Yeah, we got camps in Sacramento, San Francisco, we had one in San Diego. I don't know if it's still there.
writing.
But there are brothers in San Diego teaching that are not GMS. Los Angeles, of course. I feel like I'm leaving something out. Sacramento, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and perhaps San Diego.
And writing.
Get with some of those brothers and get close, you know what I mean? Start, going back and forth, talking with them. They'll tell you what to do. All right, so
but I'm just one alone. But I went to San Francisco.
19. I have not spoken in secret.
Even before the Sacramento camp.
I said, not unto the seed of Jacob seek ye me in vain. I, the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, speak righteousness. I declare things that are right. That's right, brother. Hey, hell of a scripture. Pow. Nobody now, right? Looking through our window. So let's drop this back to the questions here. I want to go and that brother, said what he said, and we're gonna go to something else now. Just bear with me here while I change this. That's really beautiful. That's what we hope for. We make videos against the other groups, and when they go off in doctrine, we just hope that they correct themselves, and those that follow them also correct themselves. We don't do it, just to be messy. It's not why we do what we do. Okay. Anyway, let's deal with the religion thing. So I had a couple videos, or a couple comments on religion, right? Sloppy. So first I'm going to give you the link to a video that I did of this chick. You can see it kind of over here, but I'm not going to go to the video. The video was entitled Response, Israelite Cognitive Dissonance. Well, this chick that used to be following the truth, she stopped following the truth, and she mentioned it.
Hey, look at her. She got her breast out, man. Hey, I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not going to tolerate this bitch. Anyway, that's the main thing I wanted out of it anyway. Shalom.